It's the Daily Talk Show episode 303.
I'm feeling good. Half from the chocolate, the other half from bumping into a friend that I haven't seen in many, many years.
Oliver?
Yeah. Oliver Stenning. Absolute fucking legend.
You're okay to do last names?
Whatever. He's my homeboy.
Okay.
I won't tell you Conspiracy Jimmy's last name. Can't. Because...
he'll crack it.
Yeah, it adds to the mystique. No, but it was nice. This is someone who I think about, every month at least once. Like, the people who you grew up with where you just, there's something in your life, a memory, a place that will trigger a thought or a memory of that person because you spent some time doing that. And so Oliver is one of those people that I grew up with. We had a little clique, the Gardy boys.
What does that mean?
We grew up in Gardenvale. And
I thought it was, so what happened when your suburb or ended up going to Brighton?
Yeah, we our parents got the money and we still called it Gardy Boys.
Even though you're
Well,
in
the
Brighton.
Gardenvale was a train station
that
we lived close by.
And you hung at the train station?
Yeah, we used to hang out along the train stations. Then we sort of upgraded to cars and then we were hanging in cars, parties. But I was just showing Oliver some photos from back in the day that I've uploaded to Google Photos, and he shivered as soon as I mentioned that I've got photos from back in the day because he's like, I thought they just fucking disappeared, which is fair because back, if you're not, I think you and I are probably like you're extreme, I'm sort of halfway there of the dudes who actually. Like I feel like I'm dumb when it comes to storage and things like that, but I've somehow kept all these hard drives and shit from old cameras and kept it. Whereas the thing I didn't do, which I've taken the leaf out of your book, was actually storing them so I can keep them forever on an account. Yeah. So I've done that. And so I was just showing some photos and we'll just, those times.
Oliver seemed like a cool guy.
Legend.
He lives in Berlin.
Yeah. So if we got a Berlin contact if we're going over there.
Guten Tag to our German audience.
Yeah. Or, hey, mate, how are you? To Oliver.
Wie geht's dir?
Yeah.
But what I thought was interesting is I feel like friends who move overseas have a certain vibe.
Yeah.
Do you see his T-shirt that he was wearing?
Oh, it's Patagonia.
Yeah.
That's.
Don't you think there's something about like
Patagonia was started by an American bloke. Great story to that though. But yeah, I actually just saw him walking up and I was like, Patagonia.
He's got like the shaved head. Did he always have a shaved head?
No, he had long hair. For
shaved head, the Patagonia thing. There's something about like, this guy's. He's from overseas.
Yeah. I didn't think he would be a friend that would move overseas.
Really?
Like, I think it's a big thing to, like, my cousin moved overseas, never came back.
Could he speak German?
Who?
Ollie.
Ollie? No, he said his girlfriend, she grew up in the UK and he just mentioned, I'm saying it like I know it, he just told me. But she grew up in Europe and she's teaching Oliver German. Okay. So that's cool.
Because there was I feel like there's a few questions that constantly get asked when you've got an international friend. Yeah. But you're very quick to say, is your girlfriend, is she
European?
European.
I didn't slurp my lips.
You did a little bit like that. Is she European?
I said, is she European? If you move to Berlin and you end up with an Australian, fucking... How useless is that?
What's the...
Move to Berlin and marry some exotic woman.
But Australians, like there's people watching us who are like, these Aussie guys are very exotic.
Yeah, true. I mean, I went to Bali and came back with...
with a Balinese woman.
No, not a Balinese woman. An Australian woman from Sydney, my now wife.
Yeah.
And my forever wife. But she
my forever wife. My now wife and forever wife.
That's why I said forever wife. Because I said
funny.
my now wife, like there's going to be another wife.
Talking about forever wife, we haven't gotten an update from Mr. 97 in a while. 97.
Yeah, he's looking for his forever wife.
What's happening? Give us a date update.
Yeah.
There might be something happening Friday.
Okay, that's sick. Do you need time? Do you need to ask the boys to let you out early or?
Nah, I think we should be fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Look, we're supportive. We can give you an Uber charge.
Can we? I guess we could. I guess that'd be nice.
I'll book you. I'll get you an Uber if you need.
What's the actual?
Not an XS, mate. Not a fucking black. You just get standard. You get Uber. Actually, you get Uber Pool.
Absolutely, Uber Pool. So what's the conversation been that's made you think that you're going on a date? Because you thought that on Sunday you were going to go on a date and it didn't happen?
A few weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, we don't forget. Yeah. What's changed?
No, nothing. It just didn't work in terms of timings and availabilities.
Yeah.
So.
I said front-footed and just lock, here's the time. Here's what's happening.
Well, the friend,
be the leader. Or, lead the arrangement.
Well, she actually invited you to her. She was going to see her friend do something or whatever, some sort of sporting activity. And
fuck it. Do you want to give every detail? You can't.
Did you see me filtering? But I did a really bad job.
You did a fucking horrible job.
She invited you somewhere. It was a sporting activity. It was her friend's athletics. And so the question.
You can have faith in me that I don't reveal your secrets, Mr.
I don't
97.
know if these are secrets. These aren't secrets. But anyway, she invited you to that. You thought that you could.
No, look, that was a bit of a joke.
Okay, yeah, that's what you said. But I thought I would have taken it up on the offer to go watch The Friend. But it's fine. So what's the what's the plans on Friday?
No, we don't need to know. I think Friday is enough for me to. It's tomorrow. It's fucking Thursday today. Jesus, this week's flown. But tomorrow, I hope it happens, and then Monday we can have a nice chat. Yep. But that's it, mate. Well done. Well done. I was worried. I was really worried that we shameless had put in a lot of effort, and nothing was coming from the fruit that had ripened.
Oh well, you've got Mr. 97's back. Whatever. We also got an email too from someone from Alex in the UK.
Yeah.
And what Alex said was that he's asked for some stickers. Absolutely, Alex.
Bloody oath, you're
getting the stickers.
Yes.
But what he said, he sent a really nice email, and then he said, "P.S. Josh has some strange boundary issues. Did he genuinely think it was a good idea to start Mr. 97's dating interactions with a disclaimer? The thought made me cringe hard."
Yeah, and that was exactly
what's the boundary?
Why I put it out there.
So the boundary issue, the thing I'm not sure on is saying
you were wanting to template an initial response to anyone that contacted Mr. 97. Do you not see the flaws in that?
But is he saying is the boundary issue in that don't be silly, you don't need to ask, or is the boundary?
I wish you
issue
could see Mr. 97's face. He gives some of the best facial reactions to things. A lot of time out of proportion, but that was amazing. That was amazing. What were you thinking, mate?
No, from a boundary point of view, where's the crossing the line there? Is that because we're asking, or the idea that you don't need to ask them? Be cool about it.
Yeah, I interpreted that email as that's an outrageous thing to ever say to somebody from the initial get-go. It changes the tone. What it was like a templated, hey, this is what you're basically signing up for.
No.
I work
that sounds right. No, that sounds
Daily
wrong.
Talk Show. What was it?
The way that so if you're listening for the first time, Mr. 97, he works with us here on the show. He's the producer, and he basically had let slip that he hadn't been on a date before.
Ever.
In
his 19 years.
He's 19 years old. And so we helped a brother out and we hooked some things up. And before you know it, he's got 155 followers as of recording. And many of them are willing participants in dates. Yeah, and the criticism that I received off and on the air was that there wasn't clarity on the fact that Mr. 97's life very much revolves around what we do on the podcast.
Yeah.
And so I thought that to make it very clear that the dating stuff, whilst it is a really nice thing for Mr. 97, I'm really happy and hope that he finds someone. ABC, always be contenting.
Yeah. I mean, that is the filter we have. And what we've worked out based on another dating interaction he had is that not everyone appreciates the ABC methods that we do. And Mr. 97 has his sensibility cap on, and he respects the people that he's speaking with.
And so how could you not show more respect than being so upfront and saying, hey...
I think more respect is actually just letting him go on dates and him telling us and us dropping the details.
But how do I know what
the fucking athletics carnival or whatever it is?
It's not a carnival.
That sounds like
carnival's
he's going to
high school. Yeah, athletics, little athletics.
But yeah, I think it's just... No, I like it. You no filter... No,
so I don't
Janssen.
have it. I mean,
it's fine.
But this is my issue. I'm sorry, 97. I can see that you're slightly.
No, I just want it to work for him because I think we'll be able to. Like, imagine if he finds the perfect person.
But part of it
and she's on the show.
Yeah,
with Mr. 97, they actually host the weekend recap of the Daily Talk Show.
I mean, that's my dream. but don't you think there is something in like let's be sort of loose about it all, and so it's that whole thing. If you can't accept me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. And so if we're his worst, I feel like
we're not his worst. I don't want to be his worst. You might be his worst. Okay. Don't bring me down on the worst train.
Okay, so not to bring any other details. Anything else happening in that sort of field?
No,
97.
not too much.
Okay.
We got an email from Emily in Sweden. She's been listening to the podcast since mid-Feb.
Is that how you pronounce? That's really good.
Emily. What do you mean? What are you saying? Pronounce what?
No, Emily. No, that's great. Like, I've never seen Emily spelt like that before.
Yeah.
Emelie.
Yeah, Emily from Swedes.
Yeah.
Currently 108 episodes in. I mainly listen to the podcast when I'm studying and walking to the university and gym. Would be nice to represent the Daily Talk Show with some stickers here in Sweden.
Emily.
You got stickers.
You're getting stickers.
That's sick.
Can we get the thing that I'm starting to worry about is we're getting a lot of emails. I don't know.
International? Is that what you're worried about?
No, I'm worried about... We got an email from Sarah as well.
Yeah.
Sarah's in Vancouver.
Shout out to Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. She thought that Cadbury cream eggs was a Canadian thing.
Yeah, well, now they're a Canadian-Australian thing.
Well, yeah, I don't think
maybe they're just part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, they're Commonwealth thing.
And then we also got an email from Helen.
Yeah.
From a suburb that I've never heard of. Sylvan. Yeah.
Are we giving details?
What you're going to find?
Wait, so I get in trouble.
What? Helen?
Wait, Helen from... We've taken shows... We've had to beep shows for saying fucking suburb.
Nah.
If you've never heard of it, how do we know how big the street is? How do we know how big the suburb is? Suburbs.
I have a gauge of the suburb.
You've never heard of it before?
It's hard to find a singular name. You can find Tommy Jackett. We've done this experiment. It's fucked. You can find my fucking address. I've got to sort that out.
Yeah.
It's fucked.
But I can't see.
But I don't. You need full name. You need location. You need like a few clues. That's not one.
So I say a whole area of a sport.
No.
Athletics.
You talk about someone who is investing in Mr. 97 and his heart. Investing in his heart. Like there is... It's like that's pretty specific. Think about Mr. 97. I could find this person that you guys are talking about. I could find the bloody carnival that you go to, the primary school you're hanging out.
How?
Nah, I'm just saying. You're giving more details than I'm giving.
But how could you ever? Like you actually
Helen.
You couldn't based on that. Anyway, I'm pushing back on the thing that...
No, you're pushing back on getting in trouble for giving too much details that could... What happened last time, bro? Do we need to go there? Like the last whole incident and you doubled down and fucking screenshot and posted.
What did I screenshot?
He screenshot the conversation or something.
What did I do?
You bury the lead.
What was the... But this is what I think sometimes you say, bro, do you really want to go there? And it frames up this thing like there's something really bad.
No, ask Mr. 97. That's like what we think of it is...
What did we decide
he
on
went
97?
mute. That's why we haven't heard from him.
I think we've been very good in leaving it. And the fucked up thing is we've brought up the dating thing and it's turned into a blow up. But I think it's cool. The thing is that you control the snippets. I think the concern last time...
No, you controlled that one.
No,
you controlled the Instagram story.
The funny thing was that was such a... Like, so you were upset because that's right. I had asked you, are you still open for business? As just a way of being like, are you still dating and all that sort of thing? Put you in an uncomfortable position. Because, like... The whole thing is going on multiple dates. That was the whole thing from the start. Yeah. You said that, and then I just realized, I'm like, why would you create a snippet? But I realized you didn't create a snippet. I press play on YouTube and recorded my screen.
I get it. Look, we want someone who is fun and can enjoy a bit of banter with us, and that's and can be a part of this because Mr. 97 is a big part of our life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we love him, and we want him to find the best partner for him, and that has to be someone who is. Goes to the gym. No.
What, Emily from Sweden?
Well, maybe. Loves Daily Talk Show. I think loves a Daily Talk Show.
I think that should be like one of the key things is...
Listen, for who? For you? that they love the day.
Well, no, but seriously, if you don't like proximity effect...
Well, you couldn't date Carl Stefanovic's daughter and hate the Today Show when he was on it.
That's a weird analogy. He's not on, because there's so much cloud around that. Well, Carl got kicked off the Today Show.
Okay, I'll find a better one. You couldn't date Hamish Blake's son, who is very young at the moment.
Now pick a mate.
And hate Hamish Blake as a comedian, as the person who is the front of the content. So if Mason finds somebody, Mr. 97, and they don't like Josh, sorry, she's not for us.
What about this one? You can't date Donald Trump's daughter
if you don't like Trump.
What's her name?
Ivanka.
Is it Ivanka? It is.
Yes,
Ivanka,
100%. What? I know my Trump.
Ivanka Trump. If you don't like Donald, that's fair.
I think it would be very hard to be in a relationship. You can not like things that he does, but I think you'd need to like him as a person.
Yeah.
It's hard to go and date Ivanka now if she gets on Tinder now and is trying to find. Well, she is, but if she tried to find someone now, it'd be very fucking hard.
Yeah,
that dude's married into the Trump the Trump fucking dynasty.
Yeah. There's a lot of baggage there. We were talking yesterday on the show about all the SATs.
So the test that you sit if you are. I think there's many times that you can sit them, but. The example was my friend wanting to study psychology later in life had to sit some test that is like a general knowledge test to see if you can even start studying.
Mr. 97, can you look up New York Times college scam?
New York Times college scam.
So New York Times has written about it. All the big newspapers have written about it. There has been this huge scam that's been uncovered with elite, high-profile people paying for their kids to get into elite colleges without having to do any of the required things.
Yeah. I read a headline. And
what's the headline, 97?
What was the headline?
What does it say? Because I don't.
It didn't explain it as well as you did then.
No,
I think.
No.
Is that quite good?
No, that
literally
was good.
This headline is coaches and parents in college scheme find jobs in danger.
Yeah. Fuck, mate. That
useless.
Was useless.
Well, some people are actually federal charges. It's huge because what's happened is. There's a few different ways that they're getting around getting into the college, right?
Yeah.
So one of the ways, no joke, is they were for a couple of $100,000. They will get photoshopped photos of your child and put them onto elite college athletes and show that they and it turns out that one of the people who were part of this scheme, she's 5 foot and she was photoshopped onto a basketballer and got in through a basketball scholarship, so they didn't have to do it all.
So they're actually having to pull the wool over somebody's eyes. It's not as like, look, we're just fucking.
So it's in with the coaches. So
let us in.
They're giving money to the coaches and stuff to do
personally.
it.
So the poker. So it's not going to the school.
But there's
individual level.
Yeah.
Oh, that's full on.
And so there's also where they've been, say, those SAT test type of things, the SATs in the US. What they've been doing is they basically get all these doctors' notes from psychiatrists or doctors or whatever saying that they've got a learning difficulty.
Yeah.
And so they get special exemptions where they get an extended amount of time to do the test over 2 days. And over those 2 days, they basically do whatever they want on the first day. And then the second day, they've just got like a proxy person who does it all, fills it all out. And so the funny thing was that there were cases where these students were getting all of this help from these people, so that they wouldn't sometimes know. So the parents would go and do all this work, and they just think they're sitting the normal test.
Yeah.
And they were saying how they'd get these epic results, and the kids were like, "Oh, I think I can do better," and like, "No," because they'd done so much back end work to make all this shit happen, and then the dummy had gotten too much confidence.
Do you think the students knew, or the parents were the only ones? So it's like the stage mum.
The parents were pushing for it more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's the sort of the equivalent here? Like, it would be hard. I don't think I'd take the money. But you see when these people are probably not getting paid much, and they're like, fuck.
One of the cases was $6.5 million.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The parents
You'll probably turn me crook for $6.5 million bucks.
Yeah, and
it's a lot of cash.
Pretty crazy. And so the other thing that's happening too is why it's been sort of like apparently the federal police.
So the FBI
raided, like arrived at these people's houses and stuff, like guns drawn and shit. And it's
a bit excessive.
Well, part of it is because it was a tax avoidance scheme as well. So what they were doing, not only were they giving all this money, but they were running it through a charitable organisation. So they had a fake charity, and then they would then use it as like education funds or whatever, and pay it out and doing all this dodgy shit.
That's so like.
Or to get into college.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. They're seriously.
That was me, sorry.
Not thinking about their own, and they're thinking about their future of their child. It doesn't really make sense, because any logical human's like, well, if this fucks up, it ruins everything for my kid. Versus gives them everything.
Wouldn't you hate being the kid in that situation?
Of course you would. There's the F1 documentary that I've been talking about on Netflix. One of the teams, Williams.
I don't think you have told us much about it. Can you explain? You mentioned it a little bit.
It's timely that it comes out just before the launch of the 2019 season of F1. That happens here. It starts tomorrow.
Wait, does the season kick off? Is the first race in Melbourne?
I'm pretty sure the first race is.
Can you look that up?
Starts tomorrow, qualifying, goes into the weekend. The final race is on Sunday.
The whole season for the world starts in Melbourne.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
And so it then goes around the world, and the Melbourne one is pretty big. It's fucking ginormous. And so there's one Australian driver in the entirety of
Ricciardo.
Daniel Ricciardo. He's a legend. So this documentary is about the 2018 season leading up through to it just leads through the season, right? And so it looks at there's a heavy emphasis on Daniel Ricciardo. There's some heavy shit that was happening where he was like, the older driver of the two. Each team has two drivers, and so he was the older one, and it was coming to the end of his contract, and all this shit's going on.
Who's
He's
making
with Red
it?
Bull. I don't know. I think it's a Netflix original, which doesn't mean they made it.
Well,
they
that's
mean
the thing
they
with
paid
Netflix
for
original.
it, right?
That's the one thing that a lot of creators get upset about, because Netflix put up these Netflix original things.
Yeah.
The reality is they buy it and put their little
paid
sticker
for
on it.
Either way, it is
After the
so good. It is so good. But one of the drivers for Williams, which is one of the other teams, is this young kid. And his father is a billionaire. And his father invests heavily into this team, like $100 million or something a season. Like ridiculous, because it's a money business. Like you need lots of money to make the cars.
That's even like V8s, even go-karts and shit. Like it's drag racing. All of those things are fucking expensive.
Yeah. And so you need people with deep pockets. And this guy invests. And the kid is good though, because he's like...
You always say kid. You say Mr.
He's kid, he's 19.
So Mr. 97. When does Mr. 97 move on from being a kid?
When he has his second date.
Really?
No.
That could be Friday.
I like it. I don't see Mr. 97 as 10 years younger than me, but he is.
Yeah.
He's nearly 11 years younger than me.
But when do we stop calling him a kid? Because when Ollie came in, it's like, I've got a kid Mason who's doing work with us.
Do you not like it, Mr. 97? Not you, Josh. I don't care if you don't fucking like it.
No, it doesn't bother me. No.
Doesn't bother you?
Baby doesn't care.
No, that's fine. And but the kid, the 19-year-old kid who's a F1 or
double
20-year-old,
down, like just
the
a kid.
He's a kid comparatively to most
Adults.
Yes. Okay. And he accepts it. He's like, I know I've got to walk in here. I know this is the reality
he says
here.
that.
But he also he can drive a fucking F1 car. He's a good driver. It's hard.
But if you had a lot of I wonder if we had
definitely not you. You couldn't become an F1 driver.
Just because of my height.
Yeah, I guess.
What were you going to say?
Your coordination.
I think that if my parents had more money, maybe I'd be better more coordinated.
Amy and I were actually saying that. Like, you look at all the F1 drivers; they're all kind of attractive. They've got charisma. A lot of them are charismatic. Like, look, Jensen Button, Lewis Hamilton. Like, these dudes are dating pussycat dolls, this like supermodels. Like,
dating pussy. I was like, what the?
No, but they're like they're a part of this world, and I don't know if it's where you put them up. Like they're on this pedestal. They're the like minority of the world doing this thing that 1%. No one else. Yeah, they are the 1%. Yeah. They're of a league of 20 drivers, and they make $50 million a year. And
so how much they make?
Daniel Ricciardo's contract for
Daniel Ricciardo's making
$49 million a year, dude. That's his contract for driving, not including sponsors. Think about it. He's risking his life every time he gets in the car. But I was thinking, is there some guy out there that is, from what people think is butt ugly? He's 20%. He's at 20 butt ugly. But he's actually the best driver in the world. He's so good. He's better than all of these guys, but he'll never get it based on his looks. Do you think that's a thing in terms of like the sport? Like look at Ronaldo.
Soccer, is he a soccer player?
Yeah, Ronaldo. He's a good-looking guy. Like you might not be
Beckham.
Like these people are up the top. It's always like I look at the AFL footy players.
James
I'm like,
Hird.
fucking good-looking blokes out on that field. How does that happen? How do they get so talented and also real good looking?
Nathan Buckley.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Andrew Gaze.
Oh, no, but there is. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So I know it. Like Ricardo, he's
I'm
the
literally
full package.
Trying to think of other sports people's names.
It's interesting.
I was trying to think. I actually, I had friends work on a shoot with Ricardo.
Yeah.
And it's the closest thing that I have to I have gossip.
What is he? He's
not
a diva, is he?
No, he's not a diva. I don't know if it was Ricardo. I'm not going to
say F1 driver.
I'll say an F1 driver.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
But allegedly they were doing a film with him in it.
Yeah.
And he had to go because his night install had what he had planned was a big orgy.
No, definitely not Ricardo.
That's what I heard.
Definitely not Ricardo.
And he was like whichever F1, it mustn't have been Ricardo.
But who's publicising to the team? Guys, I've got an orgy.
Well, yeah, it was a little bit like...
appreciate his honesty.
Yeah, just like, guys, I've got to be out of here because I'm having an orgy. That's what, I mean, this is how rumours start.
Pants off at 8.
Remember, like there was the... there's always weird... there's news anchors that it turns out that like... I remember someone told me that a wine bottle was found in that person at a hospital, and you'd heard the story as well.
I'd love to just cut to Mason's reaction right now.
What's his what was his reaction?
Just saw a ghost or something.
Yeah.
No, he just saw a wine bottle in a guy's ass. That's what he was thinking, or a woman's ass.
Yeah, or whatever it was.
I thought you were going to say on air.
No, it wasn't on air. No, but it was like it was actually my science teacher. So I had some weird teachers. My science teacher said how his friend was a paramedic and had to go to the take the person to the hospital.
Yeah. So you've got like the connection.
But the thing is that this same thing happened on Christmas time where someone said that they found a wallet, gave it to someone, and the person said there's going to be a terrorist attack at Chadstone Shopping Centre. Right? So this was a friend, like a direct friend had said that their friend, it happened to their friend.
And so Josh called me and told me.
I did.
You called me, told me.
I was like,
you know what I did? Told my brother. Yeah. But the bit I dropped, because I forgot the bit about how it was your mate's friend. Yeah. I said it was your friend that found the fucking thing. So you see how this shit gets out. And so, next minute you've got a bottle in your ass. but it just turned out.
VicPol, like Victorian police had to come out and say there is a rumour that this is happening. And the thing was that a friend of mine was spewing who's friends with the friend who had told us.
Yeah.
Because she actually called up high-profile people and been like, hey, this is happening. And she was, before she made the call, she said, are you sure? Was this actually your friend?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was a friend. It was all bullshit.
it is like I've said it on this show before. Who's seen a ghost? It's always someone that you know of someone. Or who's ever done a seance? No. It was my mate's mate who did this seance and the cup was moving. It's always like it is always one step away.
Yeah.
And so,
or the friend is a little bit tweaked.
Yeah. Or the friend dropped one of the main pieces of information that it was actually his friend's friend that
it happens,
I can't vouch for.
It does happen. Yeah, and it turns out,
Josh has a bottle in his ass.
Yeah, exactly.
We're off to the hospital.
I actually started off unfiltered on the show.
Yeah.
Now started filtered.
Yeah,
that was the end bit was me filtering. That's why I didn't have anything because I had something. I was like, am I going to say it?
We could go back and forth on that bottle here for a long time.
Yeah, it's a daily talk show. The stickers.
Yes, if you still want them, hi@thedailytalkshow.com is our email address.
And in the subject line, you put the words stickers and you put your address in the body of the email. And the funny thing is, you flippantly said, now, just include what you would do for dinner or something with Mr. 97 or whatever it is. Alex actually said, Mr. 97 sounds like a stand-up dude, but being happily married, I wouldn't date him, but I would let him cook for me if he fancies a trip over here.
That's to the UK. He also said, I don't really have a favourite dessert, maybe bread and butter pudding or fab lollies or homemade pavlova, but with fruit and creme fraiche. I'm sure you could do that.
Wait, homemade instead of what? Pavlova, but with fruit and creme fraiche.
Yeah.
I don't know about what is
creme fraiche. I think it's like this whipped, like it's kind of like it's not. I'm not a fan.
And what's the bread and butter pudding? That
sounds nice. Yeah.
Bread. Is it literally
and
that?
Butter in a pudding?
Yeah, I guess that's what it is.
It is. We should just
maybe we could do it as
97, bring it in on a Friday.
Fat Friday. Yeah.
No, it sounds good. But yeah. Tell us where you're listening from because it's been nice. We've been hearing all the different places and how you found us. It's so nice.
I don't think I got to it, but it would also be good. I think I got distracted with this when we were doing the stickers bit. What I said, I'm worried about something, and you said, is it the price of the international shipping
for the stickers?
That's fine. No? Just that we've only got the one type of sticker, and should we try and get the sticker page done in the next week or so we can send them all out, something that's got like little squeegee, Gronk, all that sort of thing. I don't know.
Well, if you...
We need to get back to 3D deal as well.
If you wait, you may receive that or you may not.
Yeah.
We didn't get to it in time, but we will at some point. Well, this is not the only sticker run. We've done 3. This is our 4th. Yeah. We open it up every couple of months.
Don't underplay it.
Every other month.
Is that the same as every couple of months? Every other month?
I don't know.
It's today's talk show. Hi, thedailytalkshow.com. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.
See you.